Meeting. We are recording. So welcome everybody. Always glad to see you folks. Um, we have a couple of new people, I think, at least one that I'm aware of. Um, and you're going to hear from Jared in just a little while. Um, excuse me, but where did he go? Well, while I'm looking for him, there he is. Whoops, where'd he go? Where's he disappearing here? I'll get it together yet. Give me 2 minutes. Okay, there he is. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. First of all, Christopher, do you want to introduce yourself, please? You're new to our gang here.
Sure. My name is Christopher Kane. I've spent probably the last 25 years in customer service and support in terms of the work I've been doing. I got laid off in October of 23, and since then have kind of been trying to work to get my own little startup going, which combines of all ironic things, pet care and home computer consulting.
Okay, so I want to talk about pet care. I have a dog.
The funny thing is it's two separate branches, but they're both things I'm passionate about.
Okay, well, it'd be interesting to talk to you about what you do. I've got a hurting dog, so okay. Anybody else who's new this morning? So we're going to be a little bit out of tune here a little bit. There's a couple of people that we want to do brief uh, reports about. So Randy, do you want to lead off here?
Sure, yeah. We had a good discussion a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and one of the things that we've been working on is a digital equity toolkit. So basically, all of the analytics that you need to to think about digital equity issues is kind of compiled. So this is, you think of it as hundreds of data layers that are all put together that are visualized. And I'll if anyone, and so anyone who's might be interested in or might be participating in the competitive grant process, this would be an asset. And then just more generally, it just sort of takes the whole topic and enables you to build kind of a digital equity story. And I'll drop a link in the chat, and this is kind of going to release in the next 24 hours, but you can read about it and it'll hopefully be an asset for a lot of folks.
Okay, thank you, Randy. And Jared, of course, we're going to hear from you fairly shortly. And Barney, do you want to just give us a quickie event update about the event you guys just did, or that Ash did, I guess?
Yeah. Ash gets the credit for this one. He did a phenomenal job. So AI Core is a program we started for undergraduate students at the university this year. I guess we had graduates and undergraduates. The idea was to get students a brief exposure to the tools, emerging tools and technologies like extended reality, AI kinds of things, chatbots. And they learn to use those. And then the idea was to take on some real world problems. And they demoed what they had done with 60 students.
To where? To Florida. September 8th.
Somebody needs
You know what I'm going, do you? Are you going on the 8th, Sunday the 8th? That's when your hill
Yeah, I got it.
starts.
I got to go see.
There we go. Jonathan's muted.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry about that. I think we
No,
got
no worries.
muted
It was
now.
just a phenomenal show. They did a great job. They'll be looking to do some more this year. The other thing that's kind of exciting around that, many of you know Brian Carter, who's been here a couple times. Ash and Brian are getting together to run a VIP class in humanities. That ought to be a knockout, right? Between the two of those guys going at pulling students in. So that is really exciting. One other thing, not quite related, the three universities are forming an AI community of practice to talk about how we exchange information. So that's another thing I was involved in the last week or so.
Cool. So we'll want to hear more about that in the future.
Yeah. We
Okay,
just had our
great.
first meeting in Flagstaff last Friday.
Great. Thanks. Thanks, Barney. Okay, we're going to move on. Did I miss anybody that I needed to? Whoops. Where's my agenda? Why isn't this working? Okay, so let's jump into the agenda now. First of all, as always, thank our sponsors, Valley Telecom Group, Care First Health Plan, Khajiit Triad Wireless, and Darren Ziegler Consulting Services. And really appreciate all of you guys supporting us. So obviously, since today is the 29th, you know that our Public Networks Forum has been postponed. I will probably have to look at a date, and hopefully I can get it scheduled for when I get back from vacation. And speaking of that, I think you all may know by now that I will be on vacation from September 11th to the 29th. And so my plan is to have an AZBSN meeting next week on the 5th and again on the 19th. The only thing that will prevent me from doing that on the 19th, I will be in Costa Rica. And so depending on internet, supposedly there's internet all over the place. And so I have to find out what kind of internet I got in the place we're staying. So if for some reason that's not going to work, then I'll cancel the meeting. But my plan right now, I didn't want to go a whole month without meeting. So that's my plan. Okay, so moving on. Aaron, you want to introduce yourself, please, and give us an update on what's happened with the broadband office?
Sure thing. Hi, everyone. Good morning. I hope you have nice, cool weather wherever you are. It's getting a little cooler here in Phoenix. Always a good thing. My name is Erin
Aaron, you got to
Mirandos.
introduce yourself.
I was about to, Steve.
Oh,
Thank
sorry.
you.
Sorry.
My name is Erin Mirandos, and I'm the Digital Equity Program Manager with the Arizona Commerce Authority. For those on this call who don't know, the ACA is the administering entity for both the BEAD and the digital equity funding at the statewide level here in Arizona. And not a ton to report this morning. We are still on track to release the kind of like market sounding version of the project area maps, likely by the middle of this upcoming month. So within the next couple of weeks here, you'll see those on our website. And then we'll be moving through that process. We still anticipate opening up those subgrants later this fall for the BEAD side of things. So that'll be for our ISPs and our local governments and any other eligible entities to apply to connect all of the BSLs in the broadband serviceable locations in the state that don't currently have 100 by 20 service. On the digital equity side of things, even less to report. We're still working through the curing period on our capacity grant, and as soon as we are able, we will share the timeline for that process. Still looking at getting that approval in the fall, and then moving through the subgrant process as we've kind of talked about in the past. All the documents for both programs are available on our website, and I'll drop the link for that for anyone who doesn't have it, and happy to answer any questions that we might have.
Okay, thank you. Kelly K, is that Kelly Crucy?
Kelly is with us, but she is probably gonna stay a little quiet. Really briefly, I will also drop the link to the to our engagement schedule in the chat. We do have a couple
Okay.
of upcoming events after the holiday. We'll be in Mojave and La Paz counties, and that's we're getting closer to wrapping up the engagement tour as well.
Okay. Any questions for Aaron? Okay, moving on. I don't believe Nicole is on. Nicole, are you here? Okay. So, so Beth Neely with ADE, you want to give us a latest update on what's happening with E-rate and ADE?
I am still, as I reported last week, navigating the new to me environment. We do have the job posting ready to go. So that should be coming out soon. And the 470 RFP, we had a couple questions on that from some vendors that I answered yesterday. And our new E-rate at AZ mailbox is filling up. And I'm doing the best that I can as quickly as possible, kind of answering everybody's questions. So again, everybody patience as we work through it. I do want to say thanks to everybody that has been giving me the patience as I work through it. But look for that job posting next week. And that will be, I think, our next big step.
Right. So just a reminder for those of you who don't know that Mylan Eaton, who did a great job bringing millions of dollars into the state, has left the ADE. He's out on his own, doing his own consulting business. And so good luck on that. And so in the meantime, ADE, as Beth was pointing out, that they will be hiring another person to take his place. And as soon as I have the link, I will post it for the job description. Any questions for Beth before we move on? Okay. So next thing, Aaron, are you guys still looking for a budget and compliance manager, or has it been filled?
It hasn't fully been filled yet. However, we are working through the process on that. So I'm not sure what the timeline is for that, but I know they've been having some interviews.
Okay, thank you. And Anthony, I think you're online. Do you want to just give us an update? Are you guys still looking for a state library technology specialist?
Hey, Steve. Yeah, this is Anthony Costantini, the digital inclusion consultant for the state library. We did close the application window for that, so we are going through candidates right now. So hopefully we'll be able to introduce someone in the near future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Anthony? Okay, so Aaron, did you give me all the dates of things happening? I've got most of them, I think, and have them in my newsletter. Have I missed anything? I take that to be a no. Okay.
Sorry, it didn't unmute for some reason. I was just saying, no, I don't think you've missed anything. Everything is always, through the website too. So that's
Sure.
always a good place to keep your eye. And actually, I know you do a great job of sending out your updates and emails afterwards, but just one note, you can sign up directly from ACA's portal as well to get updates from our office.
Okay. Thank you. And let me remind folks that those of you who are in any meetings with me know that I remind people that while I do send out the chat after the meeting, but if you want to capture stuff right away, that you can download the chat after the meeting. If you go to chat and you go to the top, there's an ellipse with three dots, and you can, excuse me, and you can download the chat directly to your computer. So, because I know it's hard when people put links and share information in the chat, that it's hard to capture that sometimes. So I did want to mention that. So I don't know if she's here yet. Jen Toothaker, are you here? I don't think I saw her. Or Chris? Well, I'll make this announcement and she may join us. But the city of Tucson has an RFP out. They're looking for a consultant um, in development and implementation of Tucson's fiber to the premise program. There is a link that's available, and I will post that also in my email. They're requesting proposals from experienced firms to set up, oversee, and coordinate and manage a sustainable and effective FTT initiative. So that will be available. I will include it in my next newsletter. Any questions about that? Okay. Molly, do you have any quickie updates? What's happening at the federal level in terms of E-rate and USF and all that kind of good stuff?
Nothing right now, Steve.
Okay.
Everything is on recess, and so
Yeah.
there are no updates right now.
Okay. Maybe that's a good thing that they're on recess.
I
Huh?
know.
Okay. So I don't think Brenna, Elena, are you online? I don't think she's here today either. Okay. Well, let's get right into our presentation this morning. I want to introduce Jared Bodine, who's the Executive Director at AZ Strut. And many of you know AZ Strut, but I got to tell you, as I keep seeing emails from them, they've been getting grants and growing and expanding into the state. And so we wanted to get a good update from them about the work that they're doing. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I want to just give me a second here. Spotlight for everybody. And then, nope, there we go. And then I also wanted to, well, Jared, I'll let you introduce Mariana.
Sure. Okay. And everyone should be seeing my screen now. I hope you are. Yep. Okay, awesome. So thank you, Steve, so much for having us. I am Jared Bodine, the Executive Director of AZ Strut, and online with us is Mariana. Go ahead and take a bow, Mariana.
Actually, I'm going to try and get
she's been with our organization for quite some time in different various capacities. And I think what we've transitioned her into a lot lately is our grant writing, which has been very successful. But let me back up a step and talk about a little bit who we are. I know many of you do know a bit of who we are, but I'll talk about our growth and where we're going. So AZ Strut is an acronym. It stands for Arizona Students Recycling Used Technology. So just by that name, you can kind of get a glimpse of kind of where we come from. We started as the brainchild of two large corporations, Intel and Motorola. They came together and said there needs to be a way to utilize this cast-off electronics, and this was in the 90s when this was becoming more of a growing concern. And also they wanted to make sure that the youth of the Valley were getting an opportunity to learn technology and participate in the future that is coming. We became a formal 501c3 in 1998. That picture that you see there actually shows Mariana kind of in the front. And I'm actually in that picture, even though when this picture was taken, I was not with AZ Strut. I was a teacher working with AZ Strut. So I'm kind of in the background on the left side there. That ribbon cutting was a 25th anniversary ceremonial ribbon cutting that we had a couple years ago. So we've been around for a while. Our mission, if you were to head over to our website, is rather long. It's a paragraph. It's meaty. So rather than just read this, I'll just kind of summarize what we do. We kind of have a few different angles we attack simultaneously. But the initial mission starts by saying to improve the competitiveness of Arizona's technical workforce. And then there's some bullet points. So we are definitely involved in helping schools and students get this education, but also we're focused on environmental responsibility with e-waste and proper recycling of those devices, keeping them out of landfills and putting them back into the community in a way that is sustainable. Rather than kind of read through that paragraph there, we have this nice little infographic that was put together about a year or so ago. And this kind of gives you some average numbers of about a week's worth of work. And even then, since this has been made, the numbers have raised just a little bit from that. But at the time this was made, it was about 7.6 tons of electronics processed a week. It's probably closer to 8 now. We have a few ways that we do this. We work a lot with organizations like Intel, which helped fund us initially and to get us started. But we are not continually funded by a single source. Rather, we reach out to everywhere we can and ask for that cast off electronics. We also are open to the public for drop-offs. We are a small location and we don't have the manpower to be open all these crazy hours. So we've partnered up with Batteries Plus, and they're all over the valley. And so anywhere you find a Batteries Plus, you can take your used electronics that would otherwise be thrown away or gathering dust in your garage and bring it there. And then we collect from there as well. So when we get all those electronics, we then have to sort them. That's quite a task, I'll tell you. It's really a lot of work. But out of that, in an average week, we can get about 100, a little more than 100 computers refurbished and ready to go. Some of these will go to organizations, other nonprofits. Some of them will go to schools and students. Even though our name says Students Recycling Used Technology, they're not the only recipients of what we do. We actually service all communities that have needs. About 4.5 tons is not really reusable. It's about 3 tons worth that we can find some use for. But of that 4 tons, it's just, rather than put it in the landfill, we take it and go to responsible recyclers. There's a standard certification called R2. And basically what that means is these organizations have certain standards for privacy, data security, and also environmental standards. And they make sure that stuff is done responsibly. Fortunately, that's one way we can generate revenue in terms of financial revenue, because as much as we love donations, our truck, our employee paychecks, our rent can't be paid with old cell phones and iPads, right? So we also have to generate revenue somehow, and that's one way that we do that, because the money we get from that comes from the copper, the gold, the titanium in those processors that are so old they can't be used in a computer. Well, they can be recycled, recaptured, and reused again. So that's one of our income sources. But one thing people often ask us about, because we thrive a lot on donations. Well, what about my stuff on the hard drive, right? I have data on there, and they see the word students, and they're like, oh, wait, do you let students play around with my files? No, we don't. All the data that we receive, we wipe the data in a secure fashion. Most drives and devices receive a Department of Defense certification, a 3-pass wipe. And we have a newer process that we're rolling out for our higher end, newer M.2s, and that's a NIST 800 standard, which is even superior to that. And so we make sure that your data is secure before we get the students involved in the process. And if a company is worried about the peace of mind, we offer a certificate of destruction that you can have on file that says, yeah, our data was secured when we donated these devices and the equipment. One thing that Steve had pointed out is AZ Strut is on the grow. We have been really having a really interesting trajectory, and it's been really fantastic. So you can see we have 3 columns here. And in these 3 columns, or 3 charts, these are a couple of the metrics that we've been tracking. This is just the last 3 years. So from 2021 to 2023. For devices that we handed out, we were less than 4,000 devices a year. Last year, we broke 10,000 devices. And if you saw the size of our warehouse, just a little over 3,000 square feet, you'd be surprised how we can manage to do that in that space. For pounds of electronics and other things that have been diverted from the landfill, we were a little over 400,000, and we had a huge milestone last year. We broke 1 million pounds diverted, which is really exciting. It's great to see the rise, and we're hoping to break that record again this year. And then this isn't just junk that we're giving out, right? We're not just taking old batteries and spit polishing them and throwing them back out into someone's yard, right? We're making sure this is quality things and we're refurbishing them. So the value of these products are not, they're not cheap. And last year we almost hit $700,000 of equipment that was distributed. And this is, you know, again, to nonprofits, communities in need, places like that. So really it has a lot of value. So since we're not a huge organization, one of the things we have to rely on is partnerships with schools. And that's where the students parts comes into our name. So we have something, we call them techie labs. We go out to a number of different schools. And once we've sanitized the devices, the hard drives, we'll bring clean hard drives and dirty computers over to schools. And we give them an opportunity to participate in that electronic refurbishing life cycle. And so our techie labs, they're ongoing throughout the school year. And we've been expanding that a lot in the last few years as well. In our junior high and a couple elementary schools, we have 28 schools now. And high schools, we have 17. Colleges, we have 2. So we're expanding a little bit every day. At these, what we have them do isn't just selfishness, right? Just that we get it. They get a lot of experience. We help them get industry certifications that align to what they're doing. And we make sure the schools get a benefit. They keep a portion of what they've helped us refurbish for their uses as well. So it's been a great partnership. And I think it's been one of the secrets of our success. And as I'd mentioned, I was an instructor. This is a picture of a couple students of mine from East Valley Institute of Technology, one of the original schools that was part of the program. And we were able to do a lot with AZ Strut over the years before I came over and started working with them. And what students liked about this is they knew these are real devices. It's real work. It's not busy work, right? And it's real experience. Last year, we had a huge project with Chromebooks. And I know Mariana is like, oh, those Chromebooks, they were a lot of work. We got thousands of them out. But it was a great cause. They went to people on the Access program. And the students really, when I explained to them what these devices were doing, where they were going, the kind of impact they were making, even at a high school level, they could really see the vision of what was happening and really catch the spirit of it. It was really fantastic. And that's the kind of experience that we love to give to our students who then they get older, they get into the workforce, and then they get to participate by donating to our organization or helping out there. Now, not all the schools or not all the youth in all of Arizona can really participate very easily in these techie labs. We just have select schools. So one of the things that we've improved and worked on is our techie camps. So techie camps are a similar concept, but these are one-time events, usually 2 to 4 hours. And this is often done with younger groups, but we also have select groups we've done these with. We've had refugees, women trying to re-enter the workforce. We've had a number of really good organizations that we've partnered with to give hands-on experience in just a shorter amount of time. This is a short little video. I think the sound should work. It's only 30 seconds, but it shows a little clip of a recent techie camp we did at one of the GCU had a back to school event about a month and a half ago. We participated and did a number of labs there. Hope the audio works. Oh, it paused. Sorry. So our techie camps are a great way for students to get a bit of that experience and hopefully find themselves into one of our labs later. We have techie lab camps for hardware, but we're developing and moving into networking experiences and cybersecurity because those are also high demand. So we've been transitioning into educational spaces a lot, not just the hardware refurbishing, because that has a lot of value. So at this point, I've told you a lot about what we do, but as much as we've been growing, we are still relatively considered a small nonprofit. So here's ways that you can help and you can be a part of what we do. And there's the 3 classic T's, right? Time, talent, and treasure. In terms of time, even if you're not a techie, that sorting that I mentioned, where we get all those tons in, we want to make sure that we get the best use out of that. And that takes a lot of work to sort what is usable, what is refurbishable, what has the more value in here or there. So the sorting, we always ask for volunteers with that. Even if you're not a tech person, you can assist with our camps where we go out into the community. In terms of talent, if you're more of a techie inclined individual, you could help us with the refurbishing process, help us get these devices ready to get out. It's not always laptops too. Sometimes we get audio video equipment, specialty equipment, lighting, AV. I mean, we've had a lot of different things. Hoverboards. We had, back when I was a teacher, AZ brought a hoverboard over and we fixed it. It was really cool. 3D printers, all sorts of different random things. If you're technically inclined and like to instruct, we're always looking for more camp coaches. And of course, partnerships. And that's one of the things that this group in particular would be good for. And as Steve had mentioned, we have found that grants has been a great way to help us reach out further, reach out into rural communities and deeper into the communities that we're already in. And if you have an organization where you could see a way that we could collaborate on something, whether it's for a grant or just a project, we would love to participate with what you're doing. We'd like to help. Maybe we can get some devices in your hands that you can get out to other people, or maybe you need some people to have a little education on safety online. That's a subject that we cover very well. So we have a lot of that. And of course, this one is sometimes harder to give, but it helps a lot as well. And that's the treasure, the last column. We love electronic donations. We're always seeking more organizations to please give us your cast-off devices. We're a 501c3, so if nothing else, it's a tax write-off for you, and you're keeping devices out of landfills, and we're putting them back into excellent use. And there's always the monetary donations. I don't want to be crass and just say, give us your money, but the truth is, like I mentioned, we can't pay the gas for the truck with old laptops that run Windows XP, right? So we always encourage and appreciate any financial donations to help us expand. We have expanded so much that I think we've exceeded the limit of what we can do in our facility. So we're working on building up a campaign to help fundraise to get us into a larger facility, because we need a larger warehouse. We need more office space because we have so much good that we want to do. We just need a little more elbow room to do that. So any way that you can participate or help, or that we can help and work with you, we are all ears. Everyone does know Mariana's, as we mentioned earlier here, and I'm available as well. So I hope I didn't sound too long-winded. I hope I answered everyone's basic curiosity. Is there any questions, anything you'd like to know about AZ Strut?
So Jared, could you stop sharing, please?
Yes.
Okay. So Mariana, you want to add anything?
I mean, that was a great presentation. That's what I want to add. And Jared, by the way, has been our new executive director just since July. So kudos. No, I want to talk to everybody on this call, of course. So that's all I want to add.
So Jared, did you mention, so you were, I thought you guys were expanding to other communities around the state. Did you mention that or not? Or what's the status with that?
I guess I didn't mention as much detail, so thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, we are based in Mesa, and for the longest time, we've really just kind of had a little bit of a geographic limit, but we have been expanding statewide into rural communities. Just yesterday, I spent the day in the Gila River community, had a good time working with Grit over there. We are expanding into, we've been in, what is a Surprise that we're working with lately, and we're really branching out. We've got we've got some partnerships working out with GCU, and so we've got work in their warehouse with students, and they're working refurbishing over there. So yes, we are definitely trying to spread the love and spread what we can do.
Okay, so what do you need if a community wants to, that you may or may not be in? What do you need, or how do they get started?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. The biggest thing is to get us in contact with the key decision makers. We don't want to just come in and say, hey, we're here to take your stuff, right? We don't want to have that impression. So we often do work with schools first. That's a good inroad. But we want to see, well, what do you need? And then we see how we can provide devices or education for that. And then also we can take your used electronics off your hands. We try and sell it that way because it's not like give me, give me, give me. It's like this stuff is going to pollute your environment, or we can take advantage of it. So get us in contact with those key decision makers, the people that can decide how to allocate either the devices we give them or the devices they need to cast off. And that way we can see what are their needs and how we can plug what we do into those needs that they have.
Okay. Excuse me, any questions for Jared or Mariana?
And Mariana, you can add in anything if I missed something. Don't feel shy to chime in.
Oh, no, not shy at all. Also want to mention that Camilla, our digital equity manager, is on the call from AZ Strut.
Oh, I didn't know she
And
was.
I think, I'm pretty sure
didn't
I
see the
saw her,
whole
but
chart.
I'm not positive. And
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Camilla.
Hi.
look at us
Thank you
all
for
in our
having
blue
me.
shirts. Woo, woo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Camilla's
So,
been doing a great job with some of the techie camps. We're getting more involved with those too. Sorry, go ahead, Mariana. What was we going to
yeah,
say?
no, I just wanted to say exactly kind of what you said, that the digital equity side of our work has also developed a lot in the last 4 to 5 years. And so we're super excited to partner with anyone who, is not just device oriented, of course, but training oriented, because our philosophy is you cannot just give a device, that you give a device with some training and with some ongoing support.
Great. So Camilla, you want to add anything? But you have to unmute.
No, I'm just happy to be here and thank you.
Okay. So you guys have anything more that you want to add or any questions for Jared, Mariana, or Camilla?
Come on, give us a question.
Stump me. I'm still new, so you have
stump the new boss. Come on, stump him.
Okay, well, I think we're done with that for today.
Thank
you.
you.
So thank you guys. Appreciate
Steve,
it.
I just want to add my appreciation to all the work that they're doing, and they've been doing for so long. And many of our libraries have benefited from I love those hearts. They have benefited from the refurbished computers, and in many cases they have used them in STEM projects as well. And I think those are, the unintended consequences of what they do. And it's been a pleasure to work with them. And thank you for your patience too. Some of the things that we do are not as easy as we hope it. We have a lot of enthusiasm to want to do it, but the other end should also have that kind of enthusiasm. And thank you for your patience. I really appreciate what you do.
No, Matla, thank you. And you jumped on board recently, personally, even just organizing a collection drive. And, we appreciate whatever anyone can bring to this circular approach.
Yes.
That doesn't sound right. Circular economy approach.
We have a bin that's almost full at our temple that you can pick up, and we are collecting donations. They're even happy to give you space to do a camp if you would like to do one there at some point in time.
Awesome.
Whenever you have the time. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I did want to mention that also just quickly, and I know the time is clicking, but that we have done some camps with librarians, not just with kids and adults returning to the workforce or something. We went out to several rural library gatherings and did some techie camps, and it was really fun to take apart computers, with a group of adults. And I'm a big fan of our techie camps, techie labs, of course, but techie camps, providing these like hands-on experiences that just make you feel, myself included, like, oh, I can handle this computer. I can troubleshoot it. I can even maybe like make it last longer, so I don't have to spend money to buy a new one. So that's my 2 cents there.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks. Anything else? I have to say, and just on a personal note, my son, who is now 26 or 25, but when he was young, well, he's a mechanical engineer now, and he used to love to take things apart. We used to send him to a camp, and this was a number of years ago. But he went to camp, and they had all kinds of, and they could just take apart printers and computers and all kinds of stuff. And he was in heaven. Led him
Maybe
to
we
a
can
great
use them,
job he
send them
has
our
today.
way.
So anyway, that's a little personal note. So a couple of quick things. First of all, Jen, I did a quick announcement earlier, but do you want to do just a quickie update about the RFP you guys have out on the street?
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Steve. Yes, we have an RFP that the city of Tucson has just issued this week. And we are, I apologize, I actually don't have the information sitting right in front of me. So let me grab that really quickly here. We're getting ready to launch a program wherein we would bring on consultants to help us operate it. What we're intending to do is get fiber optic internet throughout our city of Tucson community to all residents, businesses, and community anchor institutions. And we're shooting for that 1 gigabit symmetrical or better. And we're not intending to build the infrastructure or operate it. What we're actually trying to do is enable third-party businesses to build, own, and operate these services throughout the entirety of our city limits. So in order to do that, we're issuing this RFP to get someone on to help us with this fiber to the premise licensing program and to help get those third-party businesses licensed and building within our community so that we have options for our community. I can't speak to more than that, really. That's really what's publicly available, and our procurement team is able to answer any questions. But thanks for giving me a moment to put that out to you all.
Sure. Thanks, Jen. And as she mentioned, that there's lots of stuff. Many of you who have been involved in procurement know that there's some things once the RFP is on the street that the issuing entity can't talk about. So, but if there's any questions, and Jen may or may not be able to speak to it. Any questions?
Yeah, I have one. This is Bill DiAugustino with WIA, Jennifer. Are you looking for a partner on your staff to help facilitate the development with these third-party companies? Is that what I understood?
Correct. So we are looking to essentially expand our ability to run this program and work with the folks that will be building the infrastructure in our community.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions for Jen? Okay. Going once, going twice. So, Mala, do you have any more updates from the state library and what's happening at the federal level these days?
No, Steve. Right now, no.
Okay. Like I said, I think maybe that's a good thing.
Yes. Gives me a breather to work on a lot of other things.
Okay. Anybody else have anything else that they want to provide updates? Announcements? Kelly, I know you do. You always do.
I do. I want to let other people speak though first. Hi everyone, Kelly Mukherjee from ASU's Enterprise Technology. We are launching a storytelling initiative and looking for those community impact stories. We would love to hear how your organizations have helped touch community members. So Jared, Mariana, if you actually have students who have received devices and this has changed their lives, I know they're students, so they're minors, so it might be harder to get to interview them or learn their story. But if anyone out there, I mean, we would love to help amplify your work so people can get to know what you're doing. So please feel free to reach out to me. I've put my contact information in the chat and happy to connect with you and be innovative of how we can work together and help amplify the work that you're doing. Thank you.
So just FYI, tentatively, and hopefully it will be confirmed, Mallory, if you want to just introduce yourself real quickly, tentatively, Mallory will be presenting on the 19th at our AZBSN meeting. Mallory, you want to just introduce yourself real quickly? Mallory, are you there? Well, apparently not. Okay. And Robin, I don't know if you want to say anything about what you guys got going on and any help you might need. I can put you on the spot. Robin, are you there? Apparently not.
Steve?
Wow. Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, one thing for me, I put it earlier in the chat, but I'm putting it in here currently while I talk about it. There's two free virtual debates or forums with the ACC candidates, all the candidates for office. ACC is a 5-member commission, the Corporation Commission, that has some impact on broadband. The first of those two will be a Clean Elections Commission one. They don't seem to have a registration page, but they're freely sharing the YouTube link when it will go live. And as a point of interest, ATIC used to contract with the Clean Elections Commission, and we probably did it for maybe 5 election cycles. John Kelly moderated the first few, and I later ones, and we distributed it live stream and by DVD to television stations. Steve was our hired facilitator for those events back in the 90s. So Clean Elections Commission on September 3rd, next week. And then the Arizona Energy Consortium, a membership group, does open up their events for free registration, and they'll hold a forum more likely focused on energy than the full scope of the commission's activities later in September. So just wanted to recap those. Thank you.
And so, as Mark mentioned, so we used to coordinate those debates, and we did stream it, but it was not like it easy like it was today. So it was a big challenge for us to be able to make that happen.
Well, and we also produced DVDs and sent them to every community that had a public head end and cable system channel, right? So many communities would have a Clarksdale channel on the Clarksdale video system. So we sent DVDs all around the state as well. So back in those days, we couldn't really file share a MP4 that would work. We had to do high value video production and manufacture DVDs, and all the artwork and packaging for those. That was quite the follow-on task in older media times.
My, how technology has changed. So Mallory, I was looking for you earlier. You want to just again give people just a quickie about what you guys do and a little blurb so that they'll want to tune in on the 19th. You're muted. You're still muted. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll get you unmuted here shortly. And in the meantime, since we have a little time, every once in a while, I like to be able to give people a chance to introduce themselves and let people get acquainted. Miles, do you want to introduce yourself, please? You're fairly new to our gang here.
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. My name is Miles Chandler. I'm a program manager from the Cradle to Career Partnership that's anchored at the United Way of Tucson and Southern Arizona. And my work it deals with after-school STEM programming as well as a community of practice to empower our math teachers in our community, and involves our math specialists as well as 7 of the Pima County public school districts as well. Our work involves making sure that the future STEM workforce is both vibrant, diverse, and confident in their STEM abilities. So it's a very early intervention, to make sure that our middle schoolers are engaged. They want to continue their STEM curiosity in high school as well as in post-secondary. So that's a little bit about me.
Great. You guys have been around for a long time. That
Yeah,
program's
at
been
least
around there for a long time.
we've been around here for quite a long time, at least 100 years for United Way of Tucson in Southern Arizona, and at least 10 years for the Cradle to Career Partnership, so that department in particular.
Great. Mariana, you have your hand up.
Thank you. Yeah, I just put everything in the chat. I just wanted to mention, if you're still looking for more networking around digital inclusion, Arizona Digital Inclusion Network today is meeting from 12 to 1. Our main topics today are the NTIA competitive grant, talking about who is applying and what kind of support we can give to those millions of dollars coming to Arizona, hopefully. And then we'll also be talking about Digital Inclusion Week, which is coming up in October. We have plans around that. And then also Net Inclusion, sponsored by the National Organization for Digital Inclusion, NDIA, will be in Arizona next year. Registration is open. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be at Gila River Resort. And so that plus PF, we are looking for anyone who feels that they are an expert with digital inclusion programming, directly working with specific covered populations, as the NTIA competitive grant and the digital equity plan for the state describes the covered populations that we're reaching out to. And so if you consider yourself kind of an expert or know somebody, please let me know. We're asking for like 15 to 20-minute presentations about best practices for digital inclusion programming. Thank you. That was
Great. Thank you, Mariana, for bringing up all that stuff. It was good that you reminded us about those things. So while she mentioned it, and again, we've talked a lot about the competitive grants and all that sort of stuff, but I had hoped actually today, but it just didn't happen. I'm trying to identify any lead entities that are planning to apply for that grant that you may be aware of. I know there's 3 or 4 that I'm aware of. If there's any others, again, lead, I'm not looking for all the partners and all that stuff, but any of the lead entities, I was hoping to bring those organizations together on our meeting here to just kind of share where they are and what their plans are and so forth. As you all know, the competitive grant is a big challenge. It's a big grant, and there's only a limited number of organizations that are going to be in a position to be able to apply for that grant. So we'd like to identify any of those folks. So if you know who that might be, please let me know. Excuse me. And so Carrie, do you want to introduce yourself? Take a minute.
Well, hi, Steve. Thanks for having me. I was at the earlier meeting, and I think Joyce Whitby, one of our staff, was there as well. So we're here working in New Mexico and in Utah, your neighbors, doing a little work in Arizona, getting to know some people on other digital equity groups. Excited to see all the faces and work that you're doing, and happy to collaborate. So thank you for having me. We're working on the digital equity piece too. So we'll keep chatting.
Okay.
Grant as well. Thank you.
Sounds good. Katrina.
Hey,
yeah. Who was
quick
that?
question for Gordon. How does one join the digital inclusion meeting today? How would we find that?
The Aiden meeting? Arizona Digital Inclusion Network?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, if you just, well, I mean, you would have to send an email at this point to, I put it in the chat, to azddigitalinclusion@gmail.com. That's Cindy Hogan, who's our chair director person.
Okay.
You got that? It's in the chat.
I got. Okay. Thank you.
So Katrina, I know your lead guy there is, I don't think he's on the call today, but you want to introduce yourself real quickly? You guys have been great supporters over time here.
Sure, not a problem. My name is Katrina Parker. I'm the program director here at Triad Wireless. We are an ISP. Usually on the call with me is Rory Conaway. He is the founder and CEO of Triad Wireless. We service a lot of rural territories, and we won a lot of the bids for the final mile projects. Locations like St. John's, Sonoita, Gila, Sipicu, that's a tribe location. It's like 8 or 9 of them. Usually I lose. Forest Lakes, oh my God, Forest Lakes was a doozy. We put up a huge tower at the library, and it was very beneficial to the community. So we do a lot of our own builds. We build our own towers, and we do work with fiber providers to provide rapid deployment of fixed wireless in those locations.
Okay, thank you, Katrina. Again, thank you guys for your support. Anybody else want to, Bill? I'm going to put you on the spot. Anything lately happening? I know you're kind of into the workforce development space. You want to have anything that you want to add today?
Nothing at this point other than we're continuing to reach out to the universities and the community colleges to talk with them about what we have to offer. And we did make a good connection with Bautu, and we're talking with them about some opportunities as well.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they want to share this morning? We'll give you some time back today.
I was just going to jump in. Sorry, Steve. This is
Yeah,
Mallory.
sorry. Go ahead, Mallory. Yeah.
I was having some computer issues. I tried to turn on video and it froze everything. It was just a problem. So you're gonna have to just listen to me at the moment.
Okay.
Broadband's not working as well as we would like, I guess. But I work with Consortia Consulting. We specialize working with the telecommunications or broadband providers on that side of digital equity, among other items. So, you know, if you have someone you're wanting to pair with or you're looking for things, please reach out. We do a lot with grants and different opportunities available from that side more than anything. But we would love to chat.
Thank you, Mallory. And so again, assuming we can confirm it, that Mallory will be presenting on the 19th. And so again, just a reminder, we're only going to do 2 meetings in September, the 5th and the 19th. I'm going to take some time off. So anyway, anything else that anything coming up that people are aware of? Well, if not, then I believe we're done for today. You guys are going to get some time back. Okay? Thank you all.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.